On the modern battlefield, few weapons inspire both fear and fascination quite like this one. It is not ordinary artillery. It is not a long-range missile system. It is something far more terrifying, a machine created with a single purpose: to obliterate enemy defenses, flatten bunkers, and shatter fortified positions in a storm of fire and fury. This weapon is the Russian TOS-1, a heavy thermobaric rocket launcher that has earned a fearsome reputation in conflicts from the deserts of the Middle East to the trenches of Ukraine. The story of the TOS-1 begins in the final years of the Cold War. During the late 1970s and 1980s, Soviet engineers envisioned a new kind of battlefield weapon. Their idea was both brutally simple and terrifyingly effective: mount a high-capacity rocket launcher onto the chassis of a T-72 tank. The result was a beast of steel and firepower, capable of unleashing dozens of thermobaric rockets in seconds. Unlike conventional munitions, these warheads don't just explode, they create a crushing shockwave and a firestorm of searing heat. The effect is devastating against soldiers hiding in bunkers, caves, or fortified buildings where ordinary artillery often fails. The first version, known as the TOS-1 Buratino, carried 30 tubes for massive 220mm rockets. Its range was short, barely 3 to 3.5 kilometers, but its destructive power could annihilate an entire stronghold in a single salvo. In the early 2000s, Russia unveiled a deadlier successor, the TOS-1A Solntsepyak, meaning Scorching Sun. With 24 launch tubes and a longer reach of up to 6 kilometers, and some rockets reportedly able to strike 10, the new system added flexibility without losing its terrifying punch. The technical specifications are equally daunting. The TOS-1A weighs a crushing 45 tons, rolls across the battlefield at speeds of 60 kilometers per hour, and can rain down a full salvo in mere seconds. In an instant, it can saturate several hectares with explosions so intense that temperatures soar to 3,000 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt steel, incinerate troops, and obliterate light armored vehicles. Yet this raw power hides a glaring weakness: range. Compared to long-range rocket systems like the BM-30 Smerch or the American HIMARS, the TOS-1A must move dangerously close to the front lines to be effective. And on a battlefield ruled by drones and precision strikes, that makes it a vulnerable giant. Still, the TOS has carved a bloody path through modern history. Iraq was among the first to unleash it in real combat, deploying it in 2014 against ISIS. In brutal urban battles, its thermobaric salvos smashed defenses and opened paths through heavily fortified neighborhoods. Syria soon followed, employing the TOS-1A against rebel positions during its long civil war, particularly in dense urban zones where conventional artillery faltered. The system has also left its mark in the Caucasus. Both Armenia and Azerbaijan fielded the TOS-1A during their clashes over Nagorno-Karabakh. In those rugged hills and small towns, its explosive firepower demonstrated its terrifying effectiveness. But nowhere has the world seen the TOS more prominently than in Ukraine. Since 2022, Russia has deployed the weapon to break Ukrainian defense lines. Yet, its presence on the battlefield has been a double-edged sword. Its sheer size and short range made it easy prey for Ukrainian drones and precision artillery. Time and time again, Russian TOSs were hunted down and destroyed before they could unleash their full wrath. Of the roughly 48 units Russia had before the invasion, more than 30 have been reported destroyed, damaged, or even captured. Production of the TOS family has never been extensive. Only 30 to 40 Buratino launchers were built, with another 45 to 50 of the TOS-1A entering service. To keep the system relevant, Russia has pursued new variants. The wheeled TOS-2 Tosochka, introduced in 2021, improved mobility and range, stretching its reach to 20 kilometers. By 2024, the TOS-3 Dragon was revealed, a lighter, more compact design with even greater firepower. Yet, despite these innovations, the total number of all TOS systems combined still hovers under 120 units. Beyond Russia, only a handful of countries operate the TOS-1: Iraq, Syria, Kazakhstan, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. Others, like Saudi Arabia, India, Egypt, and Algeria, have shown interest but refrained from acquiring it. The reasons are both political and practical. Thermobaric weapons are infamous for their devastating and indiscriminate nature, sparking international outrage. Many nations prefer longer-range, less controversial rocket artillery to avoid the diplomatic fallout. But make no mistake, the TOS is a nightmare weapon. A single salvo can level entire blocks, erase fortified positions, and break enemy morale in an instant. Its psychological effect alone can send soldiers fleeing before the first rocket even strikes. And yet, the very technology that once made it fearsome may now be its downfall. On a battlefield dominated by drones, satellite surveillance, and precision-guided strikes, the TOS-1A is no longer the unstoppable juggernaut it once seemed. In Ukraine, many were destroyed before they could even fire, a humiliating fate for such a weapon of terror. In the end, the TOS stands as a paradox. It is both a devastating siege weapon and a vulnerable relic of older warfare. Russia's newer variants, the TOS-2 and TOS-3, seek to extend its legacy. But the question remains: will the TOS family survive as a feared tool of modern war, or will it fade into history as a brutal symbol of a bygone era? The battlefield of the future will decide.